Welcome back to Algebra 1. This is the second part of Lesson 99, Solving Rational Equations. Remember that the purpose of this lesson is to find the value of the variable, and also that the Bible verse of this lesson is Romans 12 verse 1. I hope you guys looked for it. If not, you're on time. So let's move on immediately to example number 2. So, oh my god, here we have two rational expressions and a whole number. This is a little bit more difficult. Here we need to use the least common denominator. If you don't remember what it is, I highly suggest you go to lesson 57 to recall what the least common denominator is. So let's go to example 2 of your book, Algebra 1 of Saxon. It says 3 over x plus 16 over 2x equals, all of that added, equals 11. So since we do not have a fraction equals a fraction, we cannot use cross multiplication. We're going to use the least common denominator learned in lesson number 57 from your book of Saxon, Algebra 1. The least common denominator between the three terms, since this is not a fraction, we can put a 1 in the denominator. The least common denominator is a term that contains all of the denominators. In this case, our least common denominator will be 2x. Because the 2x is divisible by x, is divisible by 2x, and is also divisible by 1. Okay? So let's see how it works. I'm going to multiply all of the fractions times my least common denominator for me to get rid of the denominator. I don't want a fraction. I want whole terms. So let's see. 2x times 3 over x plus, we said we're going to multiply everything times the least common denominator, plus 2x times 16 over 2x, that equals 2x times 11 over 1. Let's move on. Let's simplify now all of that. This is multiplying this fraction, so we can cancel whatever we have in different positions. For example, this x can be canceled with this x. And here we have 2 times 3, 6. Plus, let's see that again. These 2x can be cancelled with these 2x. So we have 2x cancelled with 2x. We have 16. And now 2x times 11 divided by 1. So 2x times 11 is 22x. Divided by 1 is 22x. Let's keep on simplifying. 6 plus 16 is 22. That equals 22x. The 22 is multiplying the x, so it goes to the other side of the equation using inverse operations, which is division. So 22 divided by 22 equals x. When we simplify this division, we have that x equals 1. Now let's perform a check to see if our answer is correct. So, check. I'm going to rewrite the equation, the original equation, 3 over x plus 16 over 2x equals 11. I'm going to substitute each x with the value we found. 3 over 1 plus 16 over 2 times 1 equals 11. 3 divided by 1 is 3 plus 2 times 1 is 2. 16 divided by 2 is 8 equals 11. 3 plus 8, 11 equals 11. Since that's true, then 1 is the right answer. Let's move on to the third example of your book, Algebra 1 Saxon. Here, the least common denominator is going to be 2x and the parenthesis x minus 1. Least common denominator is going to be 2x with x minus 1. Why is that? Because this expression contains all of the denominators. Let's see. X plus x minus 1, x minus 1. X, x. 2x, 2x. It contains everything. So that's going to be our least common denominator. Remember, if you don't remember how to calculate the least common denominator, you can go to lesson 57 and check it out. Let's move on to example 3. I'm going to multiply all of the expressions, all of the terms, by the least common denominator. So let's see. 2x, x minus 1 times 3 over x minus 1. Now with the second fraction, minus 2x, x minus 1 times 2 over x equals, now times this fraction, 2x, x minus 1 times 5 over 2x. And now let's simplify. Here we can cancel the x minus 1 with the parenthesis, so x minus 1 is canceled with x minus 1. What do we have left? Well, 2x times 3, sorry about that noise if you hear it, minus, let's cancel this x with this x, x, let's cancel with x, 2 times x minus 1 times 2. This 2 is the one in the front and this 2 is the one in the fraction. Let's continue canceling. The 2x can be cancelled with 2x, so, and now we have x minus 1 times 5. Let's simplify all of those. 2x times 3 is 6x minus. Since the 2's are outside of the parentheses, I'm going to multiply. 2 times 2 is 4, and then x minus 1 equals, the 5 can distribute the parentheses. 5 times x, 5x, 5 times negative 1, negative 5. We have to simplify this yet. So 6 minus 4 times x, 4x, negative 4 times negative 1 is positive 4, and that equals 5x minus 5. I'm gonna use or simplify like terms. That means that this 5 goes to the side of the equation and this 4 goes to the side of the equation because they are like terms. 6x minus 4x using inverse operation minus 5x equals negative 5, and using inverse operation minus 4. So let's keep on simplifying. 6 minus 4 is positive 2. Positive 2 minus 5 is negative 3x. And that equals negative 5 and negative 4 is negative 9. The negative 3 is multiplying the variable, so it goes to the other side using inverse operation, which is division. X equals negative 9 divided by negative 3. X equals positive 3. Now let's perform a check to see if that answer is correct. Check. Let's rewrite the equation. 3 over x minus 1 minus 2 over x equals 5 over 2x. Wherever you have x, you're going to place the 3 to check if your answer is correct. Two over 3 equals 5 over 2 times 3. Let's simplify. I'm going to simplify in the denominators. So 3 over 3 minus 1 is 2 minus 2 over 3, and that equals 5 over 2 times 3 is 6. If you go to your calculators and simplify this side of the equation, this will give you 5 over 6, which equals 5 over 6. So, since your check was correct, that is your answer.